every day. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Breaking news, live report. Malcolm Brogdon has decided to retire. First thing I want to do is wish him the best in his retirement. He's obviously a very revered, respected, and loved person, not to mention a player. The way his teammates talk about him glowingly, he is someone who has a lot of gravitas. People respect him and listen to him. He might even end up going for a career in politics. So salute, brother. It's a tremendous decision to make, especially when it was looking like he was going to get a guaranteed spot on this roster. I'm wondering what the factors were. Maybe his own play wasn't at the level that he knows that he's used to playing at. This will have been the third season in a row if he would have had a down year, and possibly we're going to get into all of that. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse live edition, discussing the breaking news of Malcolm Brogdon retiring. I was already I made a typo here on this thing. Who makes the Knicks roster? Knicks roster. I was already working on a video about who makes the Knicks roster, and then I was literally working on it, and then this news hit and had to jump out live. Thank you guys for joining me here. Hit the thumbs up button for me and drop your comments if you're watching this later on. I tried to read them all. Definitely appreciate all of that. Appreciate all the support. Let's get into it here. So here it is. Shams dropped this. It's a Shams bomb now. Just in. After 9 NBA seasons, New York Knicks guard Malcolm Brogdon has decided to retire from basketball. He tells ESPN. Brogdon became the 2017 Rookie of the Year and 2023 Sixth Man of the Year after being drafted number 36 in 2016. That's quite tremendous resume, tremendous achievements. He was on some great teams, especially with the Bucks and the Celtics. And then Shams followed this up saying Malcolm Brogdon was set to make the Knicks roster, regular season roster, but had been contemplating retirement and informed Knicks officials on Wednesday of his decision. Full statement from Brogdon on his sudden retirement. This is from Brogdon himself. Today, I officially begin my transition out of my basketball career. I have proudly given my mind, body, and spirit to the game over the last few decades. With the many sacrifices it took to get here, I have received many rewards. I am deeply grateful to have arrived to this point on my own terms, and now to be able to reap the benefits of my career with my family and friends. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to all who have had a place in my journey. Wow. Wow. It's beautifully said. I think he made the right decision. When you see what he's achieved in his career, he doesn't want to slip off, the slope. And also he's been injury prone the past couple of years. That's the worst way you want to retire is you play some games, you get injured, and then you just can never make it back. So then that's it. You're not really leaving on your own terms, and that's what he wanted to do. That's the kind of gentleman that he is. Fabulous. We can look at his stats over here. So you can see for his career, actually, is that his career? Yeah, for his career, he averaged, no, that was last season. That's last season. For his career, we'll pull up the career stats. Last year, this is preseason. Get the regular season going. There we go. He was 32 years old. He was going to turn 33 on December 11th. So he's getting up there. He graduated from University of Virginia. He was a second-round pick in the 2016 draft, became Rookie of the Year. That was with Milwaukee. Tremendous seasons with Milwaukee right there. He averaged, while he was with Milwaukee, and he was Rookie of the Year, 10.2 points per game on 40.4% shooting from the three-point line. He was always an excellent free throw shooter. Actually, let me pull up the basketball reference here. This will be a better example here. There it is. There it is. This has his career stats. All right, for his career, he averaged 15.3 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, which is really good for a point guard, 4.7 assists, career shot 46.3%, and he was a career almost 39% three-point shooter from the three-point line, and a career 87.4% from the free throw line. He had a win share for career 33.4. He led the league in the free throw shooting in 2018-19 with 92.8%. That's tremendous from there. You can see he was Rookie of the Year, and he was 11th Sixth Man of the Year in his rookie year, but then he finally won Sixth Man of the Year when he was with Boston. That was a tremendous season with Boston. He played 67 games there. That's the last time he played more than 60 games. Since 2018-19. In 2019-20, he played 54 games, then 56 games, and then 36 games. For Indiana, he was constantly hurt. He did play, like I said, 67 games for Boston, but then for Portland, 39 games he played only. And then last season for the Washington Wizards, just 24 games. So, the guy struggled with injuries throughout his whole career, and that was one of my major concerns about him. Coming to the Knicks, because over the years I've definitely looked at him and been intrigued by him as a backup point guard, even back in the day as a starting point guard. But his inability to stay healthy was a big issue, and maybe possibly that was one of the reasons that came into that were the deciding factors here. Not only had his productivity dropped off last season, he shot under 30% from three. And he shot 43% overall from the field. The year before that, he shot 44%, but he did shoot 41.2% from three-point line from Portland, that's really nice. But it's, the drop-off last season, and then maybe how he was playing right now in the preseason here for the Knicks may have been one of the major reasons why he decided to retire. Here are his preseason numbers this year. He was shooting under 30% overall, 29.4%. He was shooting 25% from the three-point line. Those are not good stats. And he wasn't in assists. He only had 2 assists. Well, I guess for 13 minutes, that's not too bad. But he definitely wasn't the player that he was used to being. And then when you look at his plus-minus for that summer, for the preseason, he was a minus 15.2. Which I believe was the second worst. There you go. Now the 7.2. Oh no, in the net rating. Sorry, in net rating, yeah, he was the second worst in the entire team on preseason at a minus 15.2, with a 117.2 defensive rating. His defense, you could see, it was compromised. He couldn't fight over screens quick enough. He was getting burned. The young legs of the Wizards definitely exposed him. I mean, I'm beginning to think that, he was probably leaning towards that anyway. And then with the situation, and this guy's a class act. He could see that Shamet and Matthews were also fighting for a roster spot on this team. And the Knicks have, Dadier and Kolek, so something was going to have to happen. A trade may still have to happen. We're going to talk about that later as well. I was pulling up these stats to discuss maybe who should stay, who should go. And honestly, I was leaning, even though the need for a backup point guard, a bona fide backup point guard on this Knicks squad is it's a high priority. I wasn't sure Brogdon was going to be the guy. Coupled with his poor performance last season from the Wizards and his inability to stay healthy since he won Sixth Man of the Year three seasons ago, I was concerned that maybe we give up something to put him on this roster, and then he doesn't even play that many games, and that his production drops off so severely that Brown has to look elsewhere. So it was definitely going to be a major topic, and now that topic has been pulled off the table thanks to him. And maybe he realized, this is a chance for Shamet and maybe even Matthews to get that roster spot. And if that's the truth, I could see that. He's such a classy guy. I could see that being the case. We'll get back to this stuff. We're gonna keep talking Brogdon. Wow. So, actually, I want to hear from you guys. I haven't been able to check the chat here, but tell me if you guys were shocked. Throw a shocked emoji face into the chat here for me. And if you were not surprised, put a thumbs up. So shocked face if you were shocked, not surprised, thumbs up. Yes, hit that like button for the Knicks-Verse. Thank you, Inspire for Hire. We got a good turnout here. Over 120 in the chat. We got Larry Cohen. What's up, man? Yep, damn it, no backup point guard. However, I'll tell you, I think it's interesting that this coincided with Tyler Kolek's best game. Tyler Kolek was very good in that last game. He finished... he shot 7 of 13. The three-point shot is still non-existent, but Brogdon's wasn't hitting his either. He had only made 2 3-pointers in the entire preseason. And let's see. Yeah, 2 3-pointers in the preseason. Let's go back to this. Yeah, Kolek, he had 5. He hit 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds in that game and 6 assists. And he picked up a steal. He was a plus 10, and he finished with 20 points. I don't think it's a coincidence that kind of performance came at that moment, and that Brogdon is making this decision now. These guys, Brogdon chose to come to the Knicks over other teams. I heard today, I think it was on Locked On Knicks. The guy who covers the Atlanta Hawks. No, was the Atlanta Hawks? Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks for them. He said that he was hoping that Brogdon would go to Atlanta, and so he was wondering, like, why did he choose the Knicks? Well, the Knicks, number one, the best opportunity to win, to finish a champion here, New York, and we've been talking about it, and it's gonna. That's one thing. That's exciting. So he wanted that opportunity. And he also, I think, believes that New York has something special happening here on top of that with the kind of guys that are here. Karl Anthony Towns is one of Malcolm Brogdon's biggest fans. He respects him tremendously. Jalen Brunson is someone that's beloved and revered. So he wanted to be around all those vibes. And that's why he chose the Knicks. And the fact that he's retired now makes me think that he didn't feel like he was going to be able to contribute enough to the level that is required. So he did the classy thing and retired today. So he removed a big decision for Leon Rose. And before it was going to be Leon Rose to add 2 of the 3, 2 of Brogdon, Shamet, and Garrison Matthews, who we've been hearing rumors. Garrison Matthews is definitely being considered as someone who has a legitimate chance to make the roster. So those 3 guys, to keep those 3 guys, then they'd have to trade both Dadier and Kolek. Now, to just have 2 guys, they'd only have to trade 1 of Dadier and Kolek. Now, the difference between trading Dadier over Kolek is salary cap flexibility during the season. If you trade Kolek and you sign Matthews and Shamet, then the Knicks do not have enough money and flexibility to sign a veteran during the season if something happens. But if they trade Dadier because of his salary, which I believe is at 2.8 or 9 million or something, then the Knicks will have the ability to sign another veteran. So that's the big difference between those two. Then it comes down to who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you so much, Jason Benjamin, 77. I'm happy that Pack and Kolek can stay now. Well, we're not sure. That's the thing. That's the thing. We're not sure. If the Knicks do not, let's say it is Matthews, right? Matthews gets that spot. They're without trading either Pacome or Kolek, then they cannot bring Shamet back. And I got to say, I think that would be a big shame, because as I was looking at all the, basically thinking about what he did last season in the playoffs, I mean, he went off. He shot 46.7% in the playoffs last year. This is Landry Shamet's playoff numbers. Here's another thing. This Knicks team is planning for a deep run in the playoffs. So, and you want to have seasoned guys that you can depend on. That's one of the reasons why I love Deuce. Deuce has delivered every year that definitely the past 2 playoff seasons, he's delivered in the clutch. And Landry Shamet has delivered as well. He shot 46.7% for us last season. In 2022-23, he shot 38% from the three-point line. And in 2020-21, for the Nets, when they went to the playoffs that year, and he played 12 games for them, he shot 38.5%. So he's a proven postseason performer. And then on top of that, I mean, he's also a proven regular season performer as well. He shot nearly 40% for the Knicks last season. And the season, 2 seasons before that, for the Phoenix Suns, he shot 37.7%. So he's a plus player, and defensively, he can defend. Look at this. He was a 106.5 defensive rating for us last year. With the Wizards, it was a shocking 119.2, but the Wizards in 23-24 were terrible. But then with Phoenix, look at that, 107.7. And then the year before that, when he played with Mikal Bridges, he was a 102.9 defensive rating right here. So the man can deliver. The man can deliver. Let's go to these numbers here. And here, we're now discussing, we're transitioning into who should make the Knicks roster. And let's say right now, if we don't trade Dadier and Kolek, then only one guy gets that spot between Matthews and Shamet. Here are the net rating preseason numbers for the 4 games they've played. Landry Shamet, I mean, they're very close in the net rating. Landry Shamet is a plus 1.3, and Matthews is a plus 0.1, just shy of a 1. This is very close. A 0.4 is what separates them. That's nothing drastic. But when you look at the defensive rating numbers, that is pretty extreme. Landry Shamet in the preseason, he's had a 98.7 defensive rating, which is outstanding numbers. And Garrison Matthews has had a 104.6, which is nothing to sneeze at, especially when you consider his offensive rating is a 105.5, which is 5.5 points better than Landry Shamet. But in the net result, Shamet gives you more the plus minutes that you need. And also, Shamet has not been shooting well during the preseason, and we know that he can shoot well. He's shooting 30% overall, and he missed the last game, which I think if he had played in that last game against the Wizards themselves, things could have been really different. He only shot 25%. He has only shot 25% from the three-point line, and we know he can. The guy is a near 40% three-point shooter. So we know the stroke's going to come back for him. He started off slow last season as well once he came back from injury, and then he just heated up towards the end of the year. So that I don't, but defense is defense. And Matthews is not as good a defender as Shamet. So it's a matter of what you value, but there's also something else. Character. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think Malcolm, Garrison, anybody in here on a training camp deal, two-way guys, they're all great dudes. And, I'd say that to them. I'd say that to you guys. It's not me sitting here blowing smoke. It's not one or the other. The reality is, too, even during the season, there might be interchange. I'm not going to not be a good teammate to a guy that, maybe he's on a trade block and gets dealt in a few weeks. That's all part of this profession in this league. You're measured on, your your readiness, and if you're a good teammate. Those are things you can control.
That's what a great character. His I love the way he looks at it all. He's not competing with anybody. He's rooting for everybody. He's just such a pro. And that type of character in the clubhouse in the locker room is essential, especially for a team trying to make a deep run in the playoffs. So that's a big plus for him. Not that Matthews doesn't have great character either. I'm just saying this is what I heard today from Shamet. And he was also asked something else today about being ready or playing on the bench, coming off the bench.
I mean, I think you just, just kind of speaks to the same thing I'm talking about. And it really, that's why I think, I try to weigh so much on erring on that side of things is just, there's so much stuff that you can't control. You can't control when coach is going to play you or how much he's going to play you or whatever. The list is endless, and there's only a few things you can't control: your energy, how you show up, what kind of teammate you're going to be, your approach. And I think last year was just a good example of that for myself. To be focusing on those things, and that's the right thing to be focused on, and everything else takes care of itself from there.
There you go. That's like those are the perfect words that someone who is on the edge of the rotation or outside of the rotation, just ready to step in. He has the right mentality for it, and he proved it last year for us. And the other thing is he already understands what the New York City vibe is, the intensity of us fans. So that to me tells me he's someone that we should definitely look at adding to this roster. But now you got to look at Garrison Matthews. I mean, that guy, his offensive numbers are quite impressive. As you can see here, but the only negative for him is he's only had one playoff series his entire career. One for the Wizards in 2020-21. And he's been playing for how many seasons? 8 seasons. So that's a negative towards him. But the man is a phenomenal three-point shooter. 39% last season for the Hawks. The year before that, 44%. And the year before that was a combination of between Atlanta and Houston. It came down to 35%. He had a tick down when he came. Actually, he started off cold with Houston. One thing I'll say, another concern is Matthews he was in the rotation for the Hawks last season, beginning of the season, all the way up until February 8th. He lost his position. He only played 4 more games after that, and that's when the Hawks started winning, when they made those trades. So that kind of shows you, maybe he's not quite the guy for this Knicks team. Though, we know that he led the league in corner three-point shooting. I believe he shot like something insane, like he made like 57% of his corner threes. I think something like that. In fact, I'll pull up the cleaning the glass numbers as we keep talking here. Yeah, I believe something extraordinary like that. And that is a key essential part of what Mike Brown wants the Knicks to be focused on, which is, hunt to corner threes. Just race to the corners and guys penetrate into the paint and spray the ball out. So that is something that where is Matthews? Here we go. That's right. They don't put him on here yet. Oh, it's Matthew. There we go. Yeah, see this, because his corner threes are something to behold. His stats, yes. Here we go. Okay, can't see it here. So, oh man. Here we go. I'm going to pull this up here because you got to see this. Look at this. He's in a 100th percentile from corner threes. He did. He shot 59%. I think that's one of the main reasons why the Knicks are excited about him. And then when he gets hot, he gets smoking hot. So, a lot to consider. I personally would want to keep them both. So to keep them both, that means you have to trade somebody. Who will that be? I think at this point, now with, now you consider it. Now with Brogdon retiring, Kolek's value increases for the Knicks. Yeah. Let's look at what Kolek has been doing in this preseason here. So Kolek in the preseason, he's shooting 15.4% from the three-point line, just 37.1% overall. He definitely had struggled in the 3 games before the Wizards game. But he has a plus minus of 3.5. Can you see it here? Sorry. Yeah, plus minus of 3.5. Let's go to these numbers here. Oh, shout out to Jason Benjamin for follow-up super chat. Landry can be on call in case of injuries, in my opinion. That might be what happens. One of those two guys don't make the roster. Knicks keep both of the young guys, and then, maybe midway through December, one of those two guys, whoever didn't make the roster, gets put on the on the team by then because their salary is prorated. So that's another thing that can, to factor in. But in net rating, Kolek is 6th on the team in the preseason at 13.0. His offensive rating is a 109.0 and defensive rating a 96.0. Shockingly, because he did not look good defensively in the summer. In fact, that was one of my major issues with him during the summer. And now you look at this. I mean, maybe he's making a case for himself for the Knicks to hold on to him, because if they don't hold on to him, who do they have to play backup point guard? Josh Hart will be coming off the bench most likely. He's shown that he can handle the ball, but he's a little reckless with the ball. He's a bit turnover prone. He likes to jump in the air, and then decide what to do. Against good defenses, they can really damage us that way. Deuce McBride, I don't think he will be starting, though I think sometimes he might get the start when they want to rest Mitch, or depending on the matchup. But I think Mitch will get the start, and the Knicks will go with a double big lineup with McCall, OG, and Brunson being the other 3. That's going to be a tremendous starting unit. As you can see, look at OG's a 23.2 net rating this summer. Mitch a 15.0. Look at those defensive rating numbers: 79.1 for OG and 77.7 for Mitch, respectively. Even Towns, 89.8 and 11 defensive rating, 11.8 net rating, and then even Brunson, a 90.1 defensive rating and a 7.7 net rating. And his offensive game hasn't even been unleashed yet. Brown said, I forgot the exact wording, but he said, I haven't taken off the reins on him, or something like that. He's been keeping him in check to some point, to some degree. So, but when you look at these numbers here, I think Deuce has been struggling this summer league. He definitely struggled in that final game, though he hit those 2 big back-to-back 3-pointers late in the, I think early in the 4th quarter, which then propelled that run that the Knicks were on. Actually, it capped the run. It turned it into a 13-0 run, a 12-0 run, and then a 15-0 run. And the Knicks were able to chop down that 36-point deficit to under 20 points. So at least they had some kind of respectability there. But, in terms of him running the offense, we've all have concerns about that over the past. Can he run? I think he can do it for a period of time, but he's not going to give you the dependable point guard play that a Malcolm Brogdon was going to give you. But in terms of Malcolm Brogdon's defensive ability, his shooting ability, all of that seemed to have degraded. So these are the tough decisions. But look at Tyler. Tyler Kolek is making he's making a legitimate quest for that backup point guard spot. That would mean he would make the rotation, which would be wild considering the kind of play he showed during the summer. But that's why you have training camp. That's why you have preseason. That's why you do off-season conditioning during the summer to get better and better and better. So we'll see. Or what else might happen? The Knicks might package Kolek with some picks for a backup point guard on another roster. One thing that I want to look at is, are there any available free agents right now? Well, Patty Mills is available. That's right. Patty Mills is available. He will be turning 37 coming up. Last season, he didn't play much. He played with the Jazz and the Clippers. He made 29 appearances, mostly as a spacing threat. He's had some big seasons in the past. He is a career 38.5% three-point shooter, though he only shot 34.7% from the three-point line last season. And you know what? He's interesting. He's interesting. The other guy, this guy here. How about Markelle Fultz? Markelle Fultz, former number 1 overall pick. 2 years ago, he played 60 games for the Magic. He averaged 14 points, 5.7 assists. He shot 51.4% of his shots from the field, but he cannot shoot the three anymore. Though last year for the Kings, he shot 50% from three, but not at high volume, I believe. It was only 21 games. You know, someone like him, maybe, if you want somebody who's a backup point guard, who's a good passer, he could be interesting. He could be interesting. So there's a lot of options, man. Actually, not a lot of options, to be honest. Not a lot of options. But I want to talk about this guy. Tosan. This guy has been interesting. Something positive happens every time he steps on the court. In fact, you can look at it here. Look at him. He's got the second highest net rating after Ariel Hawkporty on the Knicks so far. 35.8. His defensive rating, 88.1. Offensive rating, 123.9. The dude is shooting. And in the preseason for the Knicks, in 11 minutes of play, he's shooting 87.5% of his shots he's making. He's making 75% of his three-point shots. He's got a nice live body. He's 6'8". You know, he wasn't that effective for, let's see, his regular season numbers. For Detroit, I guess in 23-24, let's see, these are his career numbers. He shot 50% from the field, 37.5% from the three-point line total in 23-24. That was his first season. Then last year with the Nets, though, not very efficient at all, 31.2%, 42% overall. He's made a bit of a leap. That seems to be pretty obvious. And then you look at his advanced splits here. His defensive rating last season was a 108.4 with the Nets. You know, that's good. He still was a -5, but you know the Nets were a mess. But before that, his defensive numbers were atrocious, 119.2. So I don't know, but maybe he's figured something out. Every time he touches the paint for the Knicks or the hardwood, like positive things happen. So he's somebody interesting to keep around somehow. Maybe send him to Westchester, and during the season we bring him up if for some reason we need some length, because he has nice length, 6'8". He's impressed me during this preseason. All right, let's go back to this. Oh, Jason Benjamin with another super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, trading Kolek plus limited picks that we have for a rental point guard is no bueno. Just let Kolek play. He would be surrounded by vets on the court, in my opinion. That may be exactly what happens. That may be, especially now because of the Brogdon situation, him retiring. It's very possible. And the way he played on Wednesday. You know what? I'll tell you this. If he has a good game Friday, I'm sure that's going to be a serious consideration. It eliminates a lot of difficult decisions. And then maybe between Matthews and Shamet, they just decide we're going to hold on to one of them and the other one with the promise that at some point during the season we're going to bring you onto the roster, unless someone offers them a deal. And if someone offers them a deal, then we find someone else. You know, that's just the reality of the business. So at this point, this might be the right decision. Jason Benjamin, thank you for that, man. All right, let's move on to here. So Christian Winfield reported today, Josh Hart is making progress, but is still a limited participant in Knicks practice. Mike Brown says there's no determination whether he'll play in Friday's finale versus Charlotte. That sounds to me, he's a ways away. You know, when you have back spasms, they're very tricky. They can last for a couple of weeks. or even longer. But I'm sure he's getting the best medical treatment there is available in the world. Hopefully he'll be. The thing is, though, if he doesn't play at all, I think Brown did discuss this in today's press conference. He doesn't expect Josh Hart to be just thrown into the regular season without some kind of a slower ramp up is what it sounded like he was going to do with him. So I would expect him probably not to play in the Cleveland game on October 22nd. It's a week from today. Holy mackerel. A week from today, the season begins. Yes, let's go. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that to happen. Oh, man. Let's go. The season is going to begin. A week from today, people. A week from today. All right. Let's see. Let's keep going here. That's exciting. That's exciting news. Man. All right. Let's go to the next card. Ian Begley. Knicks center Mitchell Robinson did not practice today as part of team's plan to manage his workload. Heading into regular season, team plans to manage Robinson's minutes over course of year given his injury history, sources told SNY. Robinson had been starting alongside Karl-Anthony Towns in New York Knicks preseason. He was held out last game and held out of the second half of New York Knicks' previous preseason game. Based on New York Knicks' plan, Robinson will be held out of some games out of precaution, per sources. While will be interesting to see how Knicks handle Robinson's availability over the course of the season, considering how important he is and considering their big picture goals. I think that is fabulous. That's a brilliant way to handle Mitch Robinson. He has been injury prone throughout his career. Pretty much. He's definitely had some seasons where he definitely played a lot, but you know, we know him. We know Mitch, and we need Mitch for the playoffs. That's what we need him for. You know, we don't need him for these Wizards games in January, and you know, we don't need him for that. You know, we need him for the playoffs. This guy is the most important defensive player on the Knicks. He is a key cog in that defense. He allows McCall and OG to be, you know, all NBA, all defense level type of wings. McCall got punished last year because he didn't have a Mitch back there to defend, to protect him. I mean, Mitch, he's only played 48 games in the last 2 seasons, not including the postseason. Regular season games, only 48 regular season games combined. And in 22-23, he only played 59 games. The last time he played like 70 games, or he only played 7 games once, and that was in the 2021-22 season. He played 72 games. As a rookie, played 66 games. In his second year, he played 61 games. I can't remember if that was the... No, yeah. Was that the short... Oh, that was the shortened season, I believe, right? Wasn't that the COVID shortened season? I was, so maybe he was healthy then. But really, I mean, the man is injury prone, so I think this is a brilliant way to treat him. And you can do that. You can do that because you have someone like this, Ariel Hukporti, on the roster. Ariel Hukporti has been fantastic in this preseason. Look at his offensive numbers: 124.5, 76.4 defensive rating, team best, and with a net rating of 48.2. He has a live body. He has excellent court vision. I think he's a really good passer. Ariel Hukporti is someone who's going to get a lot of time on the court if they're going to really follow that plan with Mitch Robinson, which I don't doubt that they will after announcing it. Oh man, let's see what else. He's shooting 80. He's hitting 85.7% of his field goals. This is Hukporti's preseason numbers. He's gotten 4.7 rebounds. He's got 0.3 assists. Not that exciting, but he has a +8, which I believe is also best on the team. Oh no, second best in plus minus. He's a second best, a +8 Only OG Anunoby is above him, a plus 11.5. Beautiful. Beautiful right there. Let's see. What was his regular season numbers last year? He was pretty effective as well. All right. Let me see. I'm so behind on the chat. But thank you guys for rolling up. Breaking news. Breaking news. Actually, let's get back to here in case someone's just rolling up now. Breaking news. If you're just rolling up now, Malcolm Brogdon has retired. After 9 NBA seasons, New York Knicks guard Malcolm Brogdon has decided to retire from basketball. He tells ESPN, Brogdon became the 2017 Rookie of the Year and 2023 Sixth Man of the Year after being drafted number 36 in 2016. Brogdon was set to make the Knicks roster, but had been contemplating retirement and informed Knicks officials on Wednesday of his decision. Here's his full statement on his sudden retirement. Today, I officially begin my transition out of my basketball career. I have proudly given my mind, body, and spirit to the game over the last few decades. With the many sacrifices it took to get here, I have received many rewards. I am deeply grateful to have arrived to this point on my own terms, and now to be able to reap the benefits of my career with my family and friends. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to all who have had a place in my journey. The best to you, Malcolm. The best to you, man. I think this was a classy decision, as I said earlier. And I think he's going to have a really interesting and impactful career or life after basketball. It seems like he might even get into politics or something, or activism of some kind like that. He's someone who's very, very, very much esteemed, highly esteemed by his teammates, and highly respected. So that is the breaking news today and how it impacts the New York Knicks roster. And that's why we're reading this thing here. Ooh, all right. This starting five. So one down, Malcolm Brogdon. Yabusele has been concerning me. And so has Clarkson. Deuce, I'm not that concerned about. I've been watching him play his whole career. I'm not concerned. I know what we're going to get from him. He's going to be fine. He's going to be tremendous as usual. But Yabusele and Clarkson, the two big signings to create depth on this team, have not really impressed me in this preseason. I don't think they've impressed anybody. When you look here, they have the two worst plus minus in this preseason. In the 4 games, Clarkson is at a minus 4.3. You can see in the bottom right there. And Gershon is the team worst, a minus 11.3 in plus minus. And then when you look at the net ratings or any other ratings, Garrison is the worst in net rating, a minus 34.6, which is startling. That is startling. And also a team worst in defensive rating, a 123.8. Now, I think it's possible that he just cannot play the 5. I don't think that we can do an effective small ball with Gershon, Yabusele without Cat on the floor. I would consider that a small ball lineup as well, because Cat is the best 3-point shooting big man in the history of the game, according to him, and he's definitely one of the two best in the league right now. It's him and Joker. So you can play 5 out completely. And Yabusele, who technically he is a really good 3-point shooter, especially above the break, but he hasn't shown it this summer. He has been I keep saying this summer because it's warm and sunny over here in Los Angeles right now, even though it did rain yesterday. But the preseason, he's definitely struggled for the Knicks offensively and defensively. I think he's playing too much out of position in that starting lineup that we saw before. He was the starting 5. I think Hakporti probably would have been the starting 5 if he wasn't sick. He didn't play because of illness other than Shamet in that game against the Wizards. But that is definitely it's time to be a little bit concerned about him. Now, he did play deep into the summer. He played Euro basketball. Maybe he's a little fatigued. Maybe the new system is a lot for him. Maybe it's too much newness. And then he just has to get adapted to the situation. That is something to keep an eye on. He's not going anywhere, but he's definitely hasn't delivered what we expected. So it's making a lot of people nervous about the bench depth on this team. And then you combine that with what Brogdon was doing. And then you combine that with what Clarkson has been doing. That's why people were freaking out. Clarkson is a negative 12.6 in net rating. His offensive rating is at 98.5, 111.1 a defensive rating. He definitely has been struggling tremendously this season, in the preseason. And let's look at his numbers over here. Go. So these are Jordan Clarkson's numbers right here. He is 33 years old. He turned 33 back in June. So he's getting up there in some age. In the preseason here, he's shooting 38.9% overall. He's shooting 17.6% from the three-point line. That is just horrific. Now you're like, okay, you know what? This guy, though, he's been historic. He's a scorer. He's a scorer. Well, let's look at his regular season numbers. Takes a little lag here. It takes a minute for this to refresh. All right, here we go. This is regular season numbers. So last year, he only averaged 40.8% from the field. He averaged 36.2% from the three-point line. I mean, I'll take it, but it's not anything, that's really shockingly great. The season before that with the Jazz, he averaged 29.4 from the three-point line. And then the season before that, 33.8. And then the season before that, 31.8. So his best season since 2019-20 from the three-point line, that's a long time ago. 6 seasons ago was last season at 36.2. He's not, back when he played for Cleveland in 2017-18, in 28 games, he shot 40.7%, but that's a small sample size there. He's not really a shooter. He's a scorer, and that is something though that is nice to have on the team when no one else can create a bucket or everyone's cold, even though they're passing, and everyone's gone cold. He can get you a bucket, and we saw some of that, but it's not that he's not doing it at a level that we were hoping, so that it can qualify as like we have tremendous depth on this team. So this is another area of concern for the Knicks. Which brings me to Pacome Dadier. Pacome Dadier is 15th on the team right now in net rating, a minus 5.6. He has a respectable 106.5 defensive rating. It's his offensive rating that has been struggling, and we saw that he, missed his first 8 or 9 3-point attempts. He finally made a few buckets. Actually, he didn't have a good game 4, but he didn't have an atrocious game 4 either compared to all the other starters. He hit 2 of 6 of his 3-point shots. He got 6 rebounds. He has a live body. He crashes the boards. And theoretically, with his size at 6'8", and a 9-foot standing reach, he can play big and cover a lot of ground, and that's what Mike Brown is trying to instill upon him, teach him. But he's only 20 years old, so there's a greater chance that he could make, a little bit of a mini leap if given the opportunity. But I just don't see. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Injuries definitely play a part in all of this. Injuries play a part. All right, let's get back to this. So, I'm going to set up a poll here. Let's start a poll. Who should stay? Okay. Both Pacome and Kolek. All right. Let me turn up this music a little bit while I'm doing this. Pacom and Kolek. Kolek and Shamet. Pacom, Shamet. Matthews. Okay. I think that's the two. Yeah, the two scenarios here. Okay, who should stay? All right. I'm curious to see what you guys think. So here's the poll. Who should stay? Both Pacom and Kolek, which means we get one of Shamet or Matthews. Actually, I should have added that. Or do you trade Pacom and keep Kolek, Shamet, and Matthews? Or do you trade Kolek and keep Pacom, Shamet, and Matthews? Okay. The other one is with both Pacom and Kolek. You guys just drop in the chat. Keep Matthews or keep Shamet. Let's see what you guys think there. Ooh, man. Big news. Big news. Kind of shocked by the news. Kind of shocked by it. I actually was not. I was shocked by this. I did not expect Brogdon to be retiring. Yeah. Yeah, I did not expect that. You never know what happens. There's always curveballs in life. Okay, we're getting some votes already in. 11% think both. About 10% now it's dropping. The majority right now think trade Pacom and keep Kolek and Shamet and Matthews. I'm assuming that's because of the point guard role that he'll play, that he'll be taking over from Brogdon. Because it's true, we don't really have dependable point guard play on the bench. And as someone wrote, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Jason Benjamin who wrote that Kolek surrounded by vets on the court, he'll be fine. I think that is probably a great observation. Huh. So that means trading Pacom. The problem with trading Pacom, he's like the one piece that's kind of young, exciting piece. Let's say something develops around the trade deadline. He could be that extra guy. Let's say Knicks have a chance to, get somebody that was really, really fascinating to bring to this team. And it costs you Josh Hart, and we need somebody else. And Pacom would be an interesting piece that teams I could see thinking, oh, you know what? This guy's an interesting addition. Gives you some trade flexibility in the offseason. Hey, what's up, Chris Dada? What's happening, man? We got Terrell White, Luis Carvajal. Oh, we got a great turnout here today. We got Foxy. What's up, Foxy? Oh, by the way, so Foxy became a member of into the Knicks-Verse, and we have started memberships. They became available, just began over the weekend. If you want to support the channel, please go to the channel page on YouTube, and there's a join button. It'll give you all the information. There's lots of perks. You get priority replies to comments right here. Members only shorts. I'll be doing like this. For example, if I didn't have the ability to go live today right now, this would be something I would have done a quick short of, and the members would see that short first, or maybe that's maybe members are the only ones who see the short. There's a chat room and Discord, which we can talk offline 24/7. Special shout outs. There's merchandise discounts. You guys should definitely go check out the Knicks-Verse store, which the link is in the chat here, as Foxy has put in there so kindly. New hats, the New York edition hats have come in. My first shirt arrives today. I wish it had arrived already. I could be wearing it right now. I can't wait. Going to be ordering a bunch of stuff like that. And there will be some new designs coming out for the New York edition, basically highlighting this season, this particular season, 2025-26, which I'm expecting it to be a tremendous, tremendous season. I have the New York Knicks winning 59 games this season and winning the Eastern Conference. Maybe even getting that 60th win, depending on health. I brought it down just below 60 because, you know, there's so much randomness, injuries. Look at this. Josh Hart is out. You know, like the team could have been really different with Josh Hart on the roster right now. But he'll be back. He'll be back. But definitely, if you want to support the channel, get some merch. And do it in time for the season, beginning of the season. We're 1 week away, and also join the channel. The membership definitely supports everything that we're trying to do here, because this season is going to require a lot of attention. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. Cannot wait. All right, let's see where we're at with our poll. Now it's beginning to even out a bit. Keeping Kolek and Shamet and Matthews is still leading at 45%. But now keeping both Pacome and Kolek has gone into second here at 30%. That means it would be the other roster spot would be filled by either Shamet or Matthews. Interesting. So I'm going to start another poll. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, you can only have one poll at a time. Yeah, I think you can only have one poll at a time. All right, we'll do that poll afterwards. Okay. So, another big Knicks news. Interesting. Malcolm Brogdon retires. So funny. Not funny, but like, you know, the Knicks fans have been talking about Brogdon. I mean, I've been one of them for years, and we finally get him. And he's like, I'm going to retire. But I think it's a good decision. I do. You know, he did, like I mentioned earlier, if in case you weren't here earlier to hear my opening on it, it's very possible this season was going to end in injuries again for him, based off mediocre production as well, combined with mediocre production as well. And that's just not the way you want to retire. He's made great money in his career. I forgot what he was actually earning. He was making some good money. He was just cut by the Wizards, which allowed us to get him for the vet minimum. So it's not like you know, he was struggling for money at all. Let's see Brogdon's earnings. Do they have that here? Salary? They used to do that. Salaries. Here we go. Malcolm Brogdon salaries. Wow. Definitely impressive. What Malcolm has made in last year, he made $22.5 million last year. The year before that with Portland, he made $22.5 million. The year before that with the Celtics, he made $22.6 million, the most he ever made in a single season. And then, I mean, he's made over his career $133 million. You know, he didn't want to play for, you know, whatever was 2.2. You know, actually, he was going to make like 3.8 million, but only hit the cap at 2.2 million. But he wasn't just going to play to make money. He was going to play so that he because he wanted to contribute to a championship. And I tell you, based on what we were seeing in this preseason, he didn't look like the Brogdon who had won 6 Man of the Year. He didn't look like that guy. So I think he did the right thing by retiring. Definitely did the right thing. All right, let's get back to here. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this poll. And here we go. So, by the end of the poll, most of you said Kolek, Shamet, and Matthews. And then number 2 was both Pacome and Kolek, plus one of the other. Okay, good. So now, in follow-up to this, who gets last roster spot? Last vet, min, if Knicks keep both Kolek and Dadier. Shamet or Matthews? This I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. Yeah. This one I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. There are plenty of 20-year-olds that are passing the eye test. Pac is not. So far, that is true. What's up, Mindset Mogul? Yeah. Let's see. Let's not forget Embiid and his dirty play took Mitch out. Oh yeah, that fuck. Honestly, that still pisses me off tremendously. Yeah, that really pisses me off. Let's see here. It took Thibs 3 years to play deuce. We're definitely gonna take calls through the Discord pretty soon. That is one of the next major things to activate on this channel. Luis Carvajal says, redundant to have both Matthews and Shamet while trading players that this team has a need for. Very well put. So that's a case for keeping both Pacome and Kolek. And I do think, well, it's tricky because if, let's say Pacome and Tyler have some good games against Charlotte on Friday, then that kind of increases their value for trading, makes them more appealing to a trading partner. But if, they shit themselves, then their trading value goes way down. It's probably going to cost us attaching a second round pick to moving Kolek. And then it also means that he's not going to satisfy the backup point guard need. So it's a tricky situation. Like you want, it's almost like you want Dadier and Kolek to have great games, because that way you have more confidence in holding on to both of them. And then at some point during the season, you could still trade them. So if they have a great games, and the way Mike Brown is talking about structuring his rotations, which is going 10-man deep, sometimes 11, sometimes 12. I mean, you've seen Steve Kerr. Kerr has played 14 guys, all 14 guys, 15 guys sometimes in a game. Maybe Brown gives guys some looks. And if Kolek has productive minutes and Pacome has productive minutes within the next 10, 15 games of the season, maybe at that point is when you make the trade, when you're trading from with more leverage, trading from a position of strength. So we'll see. Right now, Shamet is the clear favorite. He's my choice, just so you know. Shamet is my choice. Especially based upon the fact that he knows the deal of what it's like to play with the Knicks already. And he's played with these guys before, and he had success with them in the playoffs. So everything points to Shamet staying. And then Matthews, maybe Matthews is the guy who, they kind of have a handshake deal saying, look, unless you get some tremendous offer in the off season, let's keep in touch. And as soon as it's possible, we'll bring you back on once we can prorate the salaries. It's all about salaries. If it weren't about the salary issue, they would keep them all. But that's the reality of the modern NBA, especially with the second apron. Alrighty, I think I am winding down. Been on going for over an hour. Some breaking news. I want to thank everybody for joining me here. This is Into the Knicks-Verse. And become a member. Join the Knicks-Verse. Enter it completely. Become a legend. That's what I'm calling my membership followers. And hit up the Knicks merchandise store. Definitely, it helps support the channel. And and once you guys get your gear, DM me some photos of you guys in the gear. I love that. I'm gonna create a gallery for it. And here we go. We're gonna end this poll right now. It is pretty obvious that we all think Landry Shamet should be the one who gets the final vet minimum if Bacome and Tyler Kolek are staying on the roster. I'm in agreement with you guys on all of that. I'm happy that is the result. This team can't shoot. They sick. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. I mean, that's not what I've been seeing from the starters. So, I mean, Brunson, I have no concern about Brunson at all. Cat, I have no concern about Cat either. OG has been shooting great, and McCall as well. So I'm not that concerned. Yabusele, he definitely should be shooting better than he is, and I do believe that he will get up to his 38%, 39% range. Same with Deuce. I believe Deuce is going to contribute as well. And then we got guys like Hakporty, live bodies, get you some easy buckets, rim running. Mitch, he's going to create a lot of second and third chance opportunities the way he hits that offensive glass. I think offense is not really my concern at all. It was defense, and the Knicks, before the debacle with the Wizards, they had the highest rated defense in the preseason. Not that it means anything, but still, that's nice that they had the highest rated one. So I think everything's going to be all right. I wish Brogdon had been delivering. He was shooting 40%, and he wasn't getting beat on back doors, and guys weren't just dribbling around him, and that he actually could defend at a reasonable level, and he chose not to retire. I wish that was the case, but that's not the case. So you gotta move on, gotta pivot, and I'm sure Leon and company are working on that right now as this moment, because on by Saturday 5 p.m. East Coast time, they have to solidify the roster. So we're going to know very soon. And that comes right after the final preseason game, which will give them some more, more to look at in terms of this roster. And Matthews can shoot, that's for sure. And that's one of the reasons why he is being considered. He is being seriously considered for that last roster spot. But Shamet can shoot too. Shamet shot 39.7% from the three-point line for us last season, and he shot 46.7% in the playoffs. When the going gets really tough, he made the big buckets. So he's another one that can give us some deep ball, some long-range shots. From the corners, we got OG and McCall, two of the best corner three-point shooters in the game. And that's something that Mike Brown is forcing upon the team, guys to get into the paint and spray that ball to the corners for easy corner three-point shots. Things are going to be, things are looking really bright. I have the Knicks at 59 wins this season. And that is really dependent on injury, on health, should we say. Okay. Thank you guys for rolling up. My name is George. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on our notification bell. We are dangerously close to 11,000 subscribers, which is fabulous. I want to thank everybody who has subscribed already for joining into the Knicks-Verse. Or subscribing into the Knicks-Verse. And those who have joined, I want to thank them as well. And keep on joining, because it definitely helps support the channel. There's going to be a lot of content coming in the future. We're going to be taking calls eventually. And if you're a member, we'll be doing some members-only videos and members-only shorts and chats. And the New York Knicks actual season, the most exciting season in over 25 years, maybe 30 years, begins a week from today against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Friday is the last preseason game, which will be against the Charlotte Hornets. And then big roster decision day on Saturday. So a lot happening coming up. I love the Knicks. I'm so excited for this season. I love you all for joining me here. The best fans in the world. Anna Grill, what's up? Dragonite Skies, what's up? Sunny Sticks. Oh man, we got everybody in the house. Eddie Suarez. Diddy 411, let's go. Yeah, that's a bummer what happened to DeLon Wright. Definitely a bummer. Hopefully, I haven't heard, but hopefully he does recover. Okay, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go.